Hello again. Today I'm going to talk about your social network and friendship. Back in 2009, I remember reading a headline from a conference on health in America, and the headline was, "Loneliness is as bad for us as smoking." This was quite a revolution at the time. I think now this is commonplace to believe that. Loneliness, we've learned over the years, has come to be associated obviously with isolation. People who are isolated feel less and less inclined to go out and mix with others, and gradually they stop caring for themselves as well. Hygiene doesn't become the same priority when you're not meeting up with people, and all sorts of things can go wrong. And so our health very much depends upon the social network that we have. People do feel happier and live longer and stay healthier if they have a strong social network. You may be thinking you've got loads of friends, so you really don't need to listen to this. And I'm sure that you do have, and I hope that everything is hunky-dory. But we all need to reappraise our situation from time to time because situations don't stay the same. And that's why I want to address this today. How many friends do you have? Maybe you might want to make a list and see just how many you have. If you're on a weight loss program, have you gained friends through it, or have you maybe lost some? People that couldn't really go along with the idea of a new you or your enthusiasm for getting fitter. Maybe it shone a spotlight on them they weren't ready to face up to. So all sorts of things may have happened, and I suspect that your friendship base is changing at this current time. One of the things is that we often, as we get older, wish to be in touch with people that we knew a while back. And of course, with the internet, we're very lucky because it's easier to do that, isn't it, than it ever used to be. But also, if you're retiring or have retired, you may find that you miss certain colleagues that you didn't think necessarily before that they were such a pivotal part of your life, but now you think, God, I really miss her, talking at the water cooler. And so I don't leave that too long, because when people do retire, they tend to sort of start a different life. Sometimes they move away. They might not be so easy to trace. So if there are former colleagues that you'd really like to be in touch with, make that a priority. Now, a lot of people, especially in an area like where I live, in a rural area, they live near all their family, and they have done for generations. I've never had that. I've always moved around a lot. So if you've got lots of family for friends, that's great, so long as your family are true friends to you and not just friends because of a blood link. Sometimes it's very healthy to extend your hand-chosen group of friends, people that are not linked to you through a family, because they see different sides of you, don't they? Contact then is really important in life. It's really important. And isolation is really bad for us. So, in a kind of way, any contact is better than no contact. So let's look at it this way. Email is a good way to have contact, but there are better ways. So where email may be fine, phone is better because you actually hear the warmth in somebody else's voice. Zoom, I would suggest, or FaceTime, or any of those things, WhatsApp, is probably better than an ordinary phone call because you add in the visual element, don't you? But probably the best thing is seeing somebody face to face. I remember working with a psychologist who told me that you could not build up your reserves of oxytocin, that's the bonding hormone, through a screen or down a phone line, and that you needed to be close to somebody to feel that exchange of warmth, and that generated more oxytocin in your bloodstreams, which is a very good thing to have because it chases away stress chemicals. So see people face to face where you can. Don't be complacent then about the number of friends that you have. You may be in a very well-established group of pals and you do all sorts of nice things like go to the coast together or have pub lunches. But as I said earlier, things don't stay the same, particularly as you get older. And it would only take one of those to move to Australia to be near grandchildren, another to become a full-time carer to a partner, another perhaps to get sick with dementia or something else. And suddenly your group is seriously depleted. I actually think as we get older, we have to think in terms of making about 5 new friends a year to allow for the dropout for various reasons, of other people. Above all, we really must make use of the friends that we have. I know for myself that if I get a bit hectic with things, family things or work, there's always a tendency, isn't there, to think, oh, well, I'll put off that lunch or I'll put off that coffee with so-and-so, and because I really need to devote time to what I'm doing. But it's a bad thing to do. Really, when you see a friend, so often it fills you with joy, you have a great time, and also you come away with a different sense of proportion and perspective, and the things that you've been worrying about prior to that encounter just don't seem so important. I'll finish with a quote because it says what I want to say rather better than I could have ever thought of it. It comes from Cicero, the Roman philosopher and scholar and thoroughly wise man. He said, "Friendship improves happiness and abates misery by the doubling of our joy and the dividing of our grief." Seems about right to me. Bye for now.